What's going on, guys? My name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new LEGO DC Supervillains video. And today we're going to be doing something really cool, because now that it's been... Wait a minute. So this game came out in November, I want to say, right, of 2018. And we are in May 15th as I'm recording this. So it's been a hot minute since the game has come out. I don't remember exactly when it came out in November. I want to say like November 18th for some reason, but I feel like that's wrong. Maybe it was like the 20th. Regardless, let's say give or take about 6 months since the game has been released. Now we have the complete roster available. By the way, how sick is Vixen? Check out the character abilities that she has. Like, I didn't even realize she had all these really cool effect parts. Like when she's running around, you got the tiger ability, and then when she goes into flight mode, she basically has like an epic eagle mode available. It's a really cool character. And a really underrated figure in this particular game, in my opinion. But actually, if you guys would like to see like an underrated type list and my top 10 favorite characters, hit that like button down below in this video and let me know. But regardless, what are we doing today? Well, today we're actually going to take a look at the entire roster of characters that is in this game. Now, I know what you're saying. Hey, Blitz, didn't you make one of these videos? Yes, just when the game was released and just when I completed it, I made a video that basically concluded at right around here-ish as our character roster wrapped up about there. But then since then, we got this DLC, which was really cool because it was absolutely free for Lego Movie 2. So that was very cool to see. And then, of course, after that, we also got all of the characters that you see after this one right here, which is just a custom. So this is where you would see your custom characters. Everything from here, from the Atom, down all the way over here to Captain Clown is all new characters from the DLC. So there's a lot to go through. Let's get rocking and let's get rolling. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, please hit that like button, and down in the comment section below, let me know your favorite and least favorite character or character design. It could be both. Down in the comment section below. So let's get rock and rolling. Up at the top you have Ben 10, but that's a custom. So this would be, if you didn't know, Lego DC Supervillains is all about you basically creating your own supervillain. And the cool thing is that I actually got to create one of the custom characters for this game, which was really awesome and a huge honor. But basically, you can go on ahead and create a character, and then in the top left corner, that is where your first initial custom character will be. So this is kind of where your villain is. So disregard what character is up at the top there. It's not going to be Ben 10 for you, unless, if of course, you also build Ben 10. But let's get started. So first and foremost, we have Adam Strange. Then we have Anti-Monitor, Aqualad, Aquaman, Ares, Arsenal, the Atom, or Atom, I guess, Atomica, Atrocitus, Badge, or I think that's how you say that, Bane in Venom-powered mode, and or minifigure Bane. So then we've got Batgirl, Batman, Batwoman, Beast Boy, as well as Bear form Beast Boy. Then you got Big Barda, Bizarro, Black Adam, Black Canary, Black Manta, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Brainiac. It is kind of cool that Blue Beetle and Booster Gold are right next to one another, because of course they've had a lot of team-up storylines, so I think that's kind of neat. Then we've got the evil force known as Brainiac to wrap up the first row, and we move on to the second one. We have Bronze Tiger, Calendar Man, Captain Boomerang, Captain Cold, Catwoman, Shang Tzu, I hope I said that right, Cheetah, Cheshire, Clayface, both as a minifigure and big fig form. Then you got Clock King, Commissioner Gordon, which is actually a really sick looking design. They did a good job with this one. Then you've got the Condiment King, Copperhead, Count Vertigo, Creeper, Cyborg in his giant suit, as well as a minifigure form. Then we've got Darkseid, which is a really well done big fig. Then you got Deadshot, Deathstorm, Deathstroke, Desaad, Detective Chimp, Dexstar, Dr. Fate wraps up the second row of characters. We move along to the third, where we have Dr. Light, Dr. Poison. There's a lot of Doctor characters, huh? Donna Troy, Doomsday, Eclipso, Enchantress, Eradicator, Felix Faust, Firefly, Firestorm, The Flash Wally West, Frankenstein, General Zod, Gentleman Ghost, Gizmo, Golden Glider, Gorilla Grodd, Grail, the daughter of Darkseid, actually. Then you got Granny Goodness, Green Arrow, which is a really cool design. I'm glad that they didn't just create a design that was based basically on the TV show. Although, if you want that design, we'll get to it in just a little bit. Then we've got Green Lantern. Green Lantern John Stewart, which I love because that's my personal favorite Green Lantern since I grew up on the Justice League animated series. Then you've got Grid. From there, we move along to Harley Quinn, Hawkgirl, Hawkman, Heatwave, Hugo Strange, Huntress, Jessica Cruz, Jinx, Johnny Quick, the Joker, Calabac, Kanto, which sounds like a Pokemon region. Isn't that spelled the same even? Katana, Kid Flash, Killer Croc, Killer Frost, King Shock, Kite Man, Clarion. So that's for the Teen Titan fans. Crypto the dog, Lady Shiva, very cool, especially after the Arkham games. I got to learn a lot more about this character. Lashina, Lex Luthor, as well as Lex Luthor in the power suit. So that's the Superman sort of suit, which is sick looking. Then you got Livewire. From there, we transition to the man of the hour, the man with the power. It's Lobo, Lois Lane, Mad Harriet. I hope I said that right. Or Harriet, maybe? I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Either way, Malcolm Merlin, which is a cool design. You got Mammoth, Mantis, Martian Manhunter, as well as the true form or alien form for Martian Manhunter. Then you've got Mzaz, which, if you read that backwards, that is the word known as Shazam. Then you got Mercy Graves, Metallo, Mirror Master, Mr. Miracle, Mongol, Munsiamala, the most sophisticated gorilla on the planet, other than Gorilla Grodd, Mr. Freeze, Mr. Mixaplic, I hope I said that right, Music Master, Nightwing, OMAC Operative, Orion, Owlman, Parasite, the Penguin, which is a really cool, funny design. Then you got Plastic Man. From there, we move along to the next row of characters. We've got Poison Ivy, both in her New 52 costume, as well as the more classic-looking costume. Then you got Polka Dot Man, Power Ring, Simon. I hope I said that right, because I think the P is silent. Psycho Pirate, which is just a sick name. Not a really cool design, but that's just a cool name for a character. Then you got Raish or Ra's al Ghul. I've always said Ra's al Ghul, but I know some people say Raish al Ghul, so either way, potato, potato, tomato, tomato. You got Ravager next up. Then we got Raven, Red Hood, Red Robin, Red Tornado, Reverse Flash, the Riddler, both the classic and the more modern kind of sort of design. Then you got Robin, Scarecrow, Sea King, the Shade, Shazam, as well as Billy Batson. So these are the comic book versions. If you're wondering about the movie versions, we'll get to that shortly. Then you got Silver Banshee, which is just a sick design. Like her character model, I actually have to show you guys. Like, it's just such a cool concept what they did with this character. Like, look at that. She just turned out really cool because she has animated pieces on the actual, like, character model. You see how the flames move around? I have not seen that on, at this point, I might even just say on any other characters. So that's just a really cool concept. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan. All right, we move right along to Simon Baz, Sinestro, Solomon Grundy, Solovar, Starfire. And then we have Star Sapphire, Steppenwolf, Stompa, Superboy, Clark Kent, and of course Superman, as well as the Justice League version of Superman, which I was a little confused as to what they meant by that, because honestly I can't say that this version looks a lot more like Man of Steel Superman, so I don't particularly get it, especially as we keep scrolling and you'll see a Superman that's based on Man of Steel, so I'm not really sure why that one says Justice League. I'm honestly not 100% certain, but regardless, we continue to Superwoman, Talon, Terra, Trickster, Trigon, Toyman, Two-Face, Ultra Humanite, Ultraman, the Ventriloquist, Vermin Wunderbar, the most German name ever, Vixen, which is, again, like I showed you at the top, such a cool design. Like, just like Silver Banshee, it's really cool that some characters, it looks like either somebody at TT Games or, you know, whoever's designing these is just a fan of the characters, because they go the extra mile and do like cool little things for the characters like this, you know, where it's like you could just see they put a whole bunch of extra attention into some of the characters, which I think is super duper cool. Then we have Wonder Girl, Wonder Woman, as well as the New 52 version of Wonder Woman. Now we begin with some of the DLC stuff. So this was DLC that came along when the Lego Movie 2 video game came out. They came out with 4 characters that were basically free DLC for Lego DC Supervillains. So you got Alfred in Lego Movie 2 costume. You got Batman in the Lego Movie 2 design, Green Lantern in Lego Movie 2 design, which is actually a really cool design because it's basically kind of like a post-apocalyptic Mad Max look. And then last but certainly not least, Harley Quinn. And the cool thing about this one is that it's obviously based on the Suicide Squad movie. So I think that that's really, really cool that they actually included her in the game as well because Margot Robbie. So from there, we transition to the DLC characters that were available beyond that point. So this next line and a half, I guess, right? And again, it's kind of tough because a lot of them, there's like 2 characters in one. Like, for example, here we have Shazam Darla and then Darla Dudley herself. So it's tough to judge like the exact number. It's like, do you consider that the same character or not? So because of that, I don't really want to put a number on how many characters there are. Regardless, let's get to the DLC. So the first one here is the, I think this was called the TV Heroes pack. I'm pretty sure. That's why it's in the brackets. So we have the Atom right here. Then we have Black Lightning. Then we have the Flash as the TV version. There's the previously mentioned Green Arrow TV hero. Then you've got Mr. Terrific and Supergirl. Wrapping up this pack was Vibe. So that was the first, or one of the first DLC packs. Then we had the TV Villains pack, which included Indigo, Prometheus, Rain, Vandal Savage, Vigilante, and Zoom. Then you had Justice League Dark as a DLC pack, which included Deadman, so that was a cool addition here. Constantine, another important character, so it's cool that they're at least included in the game in some way, shape, or form through DLC. Spectre, another important character from the DC universe. Zatanna, another important character. Etrigan, you get the point. And then to wrap up that pack is Swamp Thing. So this was one of the best packs as far as like if you're a DC fan, I would say that you kind of have to get this pack, the Justice League Dark one, because these ones, a lot of them are just kind of like, you know, redesigns based on the TV designs. Although, for example, it's kind of cool to have Black Lightning in here. It is cool to have Supergirl in here as well because she's not a part of the main game. So there's definitely still some characters you'd want to get, but this one is really, really, really important because you got Deadman, Constantine, Spectre, Zatanna, Etrigan, and Swamp Thing. Those are all pretty substantial members of the DC universe. From there, we got 2 packs to celebrate the release of the Aquaman movie. So we had Aquaman in a gladiator costume as well as the regular kind of like the costume that he gets to wear at the end of the movie. Then you had Mera, of course. You have Orm, both in the gladiator costume and then the movie costume that we see at the very end. And then you got Black Manta, which is a really, really awesome looking minifig. Both Black Mantas, this one and the other one that we see up at the top there, that one right there, are both really, really cool. So, but I will say that the movie one is actually cooler in my opinion. Then you've got King Naruse, Queen Etana, Trench Creatures, which was a bit of a waste. I think it would have been cooler if they did some of the other characters from the film. Brine King and Merc. Oh, and Volko, sorry. I think, yeah, Volko was the last one. So those were the Aquaman characters, is this row right here, which oddly enough is really not all that many characters when you think about the fact that we actually got 2 level packs with Aquaman. So it does seem a little bit of a lower count of characters. Next up, we have the movie characters DLC pack, which was basically the character designs based on the DC EU, I think it's called, right? DC Extended Universe, right? So that's what was included in that. So you got my dog barking, because apparently that's a thing. Then you got Batman movie costume. You got Cyborg in his movie costume. You got Deathstroke in the movie costume, which, by the way, they nailed. This is probably the coolest figure of that pack because it just looks so sick. We barely got to see this design at all, but it's a really, really well done design for sure. Then you got The Flash in his movie costume, which I never particularly cared for, but it's there. And then, like I mentioned before, we do get Clark Kent plus the Man of Steel design of the Superman costume, which actually does look quite accurate, including the not very particularly happy expression that Superman is known for. So that is that. From there, we transition to the last character in this particular pack, which was Wonder Woman. So probably everyone's favorite character or favorite DC EU movie is Wonder Woman. Although I will say Shazam is a very, very close second because I really, really like that movie too. And then Aquaman, and then, you know, there was quite a bit of a mess after that. But from there, let's get back onto the good side of things, and that is some more characters to look at. So the next one up is Young Justice, which is actually the most recent DLC pack. This is the last DLC pack, and it includes a few characters from the Young Justice lineup. So obviously there's going to be some overlap. Like, for example, we get Superboy as he's seen in Young Justice, whereas we've seen him up here earlier. So obviously there is some repeats in this pack, but I think it's a welcome repetition because there's some really cool designs here. Like, I like the Aqualad design in this one better than the one we saw up at the top. But regardless, let's focus up. We got Artemis and Tigress, which I did not even know that was her, like, alternate identity, I guess, or like secret identity. I don't know, like, however you would phrase that. I did not know that she was both of those characters. Does that happen in Young Justice season 1 and 2? Because for some reason, I guess I just need to rewatch that. Or does that happen in that new one, the third season? What is it called? Outlier, I think. Something like that. Then you've got Aqualad, Young Justice version, which is a sick design. I love the Kid Flash design. It's pretty sick too. Superboy's kind of a boring look and doesn't really stand out that much, but it is kind of that classic black and red design for Superboy, so you kind of have to accept it as well. Now, the coolest character in this pack by far is Miss Martian, because she can turn into this, which is awesome. It is just such a unique looking character model for the Lego lineup. We've got the alien form for Ms. Martian and the really cool transformation back and forth. So I'm a fan of that. That's very, very, very cool to see. And then the other really cool surprise in this one was actually this character right here, which is Black Beetle, which again is just a really cool concept and a very cool looking character model as well, because we don't really get all that many big figs. So when we do, it's really cool to see them. Now, from there, we transition to Shazam, which, just like the Aquaman movie, got 2 DLC packs. So we start things off with Billy Batson and the Shazam character model. This DLC pack did actually spoil the movie for me a little bit, because when the first DLC pack released, we saw Freddie Freeman and then we saw Shazam Freddy. And I was like, wait, what? Does Freddy turn into Shazam as well at some point? I was so confused about that, and this DLC pack kind of spoiled that for me. Now, the other really cool thing is that they did actually include a few of the deadly sins in here. They did not include all 7 of them, which is a bit of a bummer. I don't understand why they wouldn't, especially since we got 2 DLC packs. I think it would have made perfect sense to, like, let's say, give us the first 4 in the first one and then the last 3 in the other one. But regardless, I digress. Let's focus up. We have envy, gluttony, pride, and Wrath. Wrath is another big fig, so that's cool. And the other thing that was really cool about Gluttony is that it's just a really unique looking minifigure. We don't really see anything like this. It kind of looks like Slimer a little bit from the Ghostbusters, but it's just a really cool and unique design that we don't see, and you can't really compare to anything else in the entire roster that we have. So that's definitely quite cool. Then we had the second DLC pack, which included, of course, some of the other members of the Shazam family. So we had Darla Dudley, as well as Shazam Darla. Then you had Pedro Pena, I hope I'm saying these right, and Pedro Shazam, or Shazam Pedro, and then you had Eugene Choi, as well as Shazam Eugene, or Eugene Shazam, however you would like to pronounce that. And last but certainly not least, we had Mary Bromfield and Shazam Mary. Then the other cool addition in the second pack, at least we did get the Wizard, which was awesome. I'm first very, very, very happy that we got the inclusion of that character, because it's a really cool aspect, and of course a very important character of the Shazam universe. And then of course we did get the villain of the Shazam movie in Dr. Sivana, which was very cool to see as well. Now, the last DLC pack on the lineup is the Batman animated series lineup, which of course, because of the nostalgia and because, again, the animated series for Batman, Superman, and Justice League were shows that I all grew up watching. I really, really, really appreciated that they included a DLC pack for those designs. And they do look really cool and different than the other stuff that we've seen. They have like this really cool cel-shaded look, which you'll see in a second. So the designs are quite different to all the other Batman designs that we see in the game. So for example, if I went ahead and brought up this one right here, which is kind of the most modern comic book look costume, you can see that there's definitely a lot of differences. It's a much simpler look, much more cartoony, which is perfectly awesome because it's based on the animated series. Now, in this pack, we also got the inclusion inclusion, sorry, of Phantasm, which was awesome. We got a brand new Joker, which was very, very cool because it's only our second variation of the Joker, which was kind of surprising because, you know, it's a Lego DC Supervillains game. You'd think there would be more variations of Joker than there are Batman, but if we really count them, there's quite a few more Batman than there are Jokers. Then we have Harley Quinn, which was awesome because this is like that classic design that we saw for Harley when she first appeared. So I think that was really cool. Actually, I just realized, do we have like 3? Yeah, we do have 3 costumes for Harley Quinn because we have the Suicide Squad version right here. Then you have the much more modern look up in the main roster. And then, of course, the classic animated series one. Wow, that's actually kind of cool. I didn't realize there were 3 Harleys. Then we have the Mad Hatter, Man-Bat, Two-Face, and then one that I would have never predicted we would see, Captain Clown. I mean, really? But hey, I guess there's a Captain Clown officially released figure now in the Lego DC Supervillains game. So there you go, guys. That wraps up the entirety of the roster of Lego DC Supervillains, an absolutely massive roster of characters. I know a lot of people were worried when the initial roster was announced. People were like, oh my gosh, there's so many characters missing. But I feel like now that we've got all the DLC available, which again, of course, you could make the argument that, hey, but that wasn't part of the main game. You have to pay extra for most of them. And you would be 100% correct, but I would say if you did pay extra and you didn't manage to get the DLC or you can afford it, I am very, very, very impressed by the cohesiveness of this roster. I love that there's like a mix of different elements here. Like we've got stuff from the movies, we got stuff from the comics, we've got stuff from the TV shows. So it's like all the different universes and all the different corners of the DC universe have been covered to a certain extent. And then of course this game has the absolute best customizer that we have ever seen in any Lego game up until this point, or I would say even sense, because Lego Movie 2 does not hold a candle to this one. Like this one is by far the best customizer we've seen. So I would say that if there are characters that are missing, there's a very good chance that you could probably just create them in the customizer yourself. So regardless, let me know what you guys think. What is your favorite character? I'm actually genuinely curious to hear from you lovely, lovely folks about which one is your favorite design, maybe your favorite character to play as, whatever it might be. And then also, let me know your least favorite down in the comments section below. Have an absolutely fantastic day, guys, and I'll see you all later, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.